two times. Tapping in and holler at y'all again one time. So the other day, I'm scrolling through YouTube and I see a little short of a dude dropping a trailer. Now I'm assuming that he just wasn't coupled right? Wasn't properly coupled. Because I guess when he tried to take off, the trailer just dropped on the ground. So he goes on to say as he makes this video, like, man, this is my first day getting my CDL, man, and I'm quitting, man. I'm done with this. I ain't doing this trucking stuff, right? And I'm like, damn, he just gave up so easy, man, right? And I say that because he ain't the only one that messed up some stuff on the first day. You know what I mean? Like True Indeed, I've been doing this like 10 years. My first day was rough, man. My first day was rough, right? I'm talking about to the point to where I thought that first day was going to be the last day of my career. Now, I wasn't ready to quit, but I was like, for sure, this company about to fire my ass, right? So check it, right? So during the interview process, mind you, I'm fresh out of school, go through the interview process. During the interview, they asked me, can you drive a 10 speed? Or do you have any restrictions on your license? I'm like, nah, no restrictions. That's like, okay, cool. You good to go then, right? And that was pretty much the gist of it, right? If I could drive the truck, cool, I got the job, right? So, bam, my first day of work, they send me out with a trainer, right? Now, when they send me out with the trainer, they throw us in a 48-foot with the 10 speed. Now they didn't mention nothing about driving a 48. They just asked if I could drive a 10 speed. And I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean? Because I can shift the hell out of some gears, right? But during school, I only practiced in a 28, right? So I had a process in my head on how to, maneuver in a 28 foot, right? I had that down packed. But here we are in this 48 foot. So we go out, right? And I'm just thinking like, he about to show me the ropes, kind of train me because we had to use like a little computer or a phone or whatever, train me on all that stuff, train me how to deal with the customers and how to make the deliveries, right? Because it was like up and down the street dealing with a bunch of customers, grocery stores, stuff like that, right? And we get through the whole day and he like, you ready? And right when he said that, mind you, before he said that, I was hoping he didn't say that, right? So all day I'm hoping, I'm like, man, I hope he don't ask me to drive today, man, right? So get through the whole route. At the end, all right, it's time to go back to the branch. He like, you ready? And like on some cowboy, like, yeah, I'm ready. He like, all right, come on, let's go. We swap seats, right? Hop in the seat. Now we behind like a Safeway or something. And he directed me out, right, through the park, because we got to go through the parking lot where cars park, all that stuff, right? And it's tight. So as we move from behind the store, going through the parking lot to get to the street, right? He telling me like, all right, go up here because it's real tight. All right, when you get here, cut, ooh, right? I'm like, okay, cool. I make it through the parking lot. Now, once I make it through the parking lot, I'm like, I got this, right? So, but mind you, he guided me through the parking lot. So we getting out the driveway, going on to the road. Boom. Come pull out to the street. I make a right turn, right? Going through my progressions of my gears. I'm super focused, right? You know what I mean? Because it's almost like at this time, man, I can't walk and chew bubble gum, you know what I mean, as far as trucking go, right? So I got to be focused on each task at hand. So no conversation, no nothing. I'm focused on my shifting. Man, I'm dead ass serious when I'm getting through my gears, right? My neck's stiff. I'm stiff as hell, right? Getting through these gears, right? Because I want to make sure that I don't slip no gear. And now now I'm grinding, trying to catch gears. Now I'm looking like I don't know what I'm doing, right? So I'm mainly focused on the gears, right? Because mind you, in schooling, right, it was a process of how to turn corners clearly and always clear, right? So I already got that process in my head, and that's what I'm gonna use as I'm maneuvering, right? So we get out the parking lot, get onto the street. Okay, cool, we great. Go up, get to the light. All right, we about to turn onto the freeway, right? So I'm taking my time, turning to the freeway, making sure ain't no cars trying to, come across or nothing like that, right? Taking my time, right? Focusing on my gears, right? And as soon as we get onto the freeway entrance, he goes, "Oh!" I'm like, "What, man? What?" He like, "Pull over." I'm like, "Wow, what's going on?" He like, "Just pull over." I pull over, stop, throw the hazards on. I was like, "When we put the cones out," because that's what my trainer said to do. When we pull over, maybe, I don't know. We put the cones out, the triangles, right? We put the triangles out. He like, "Hold on." So then he gets out the cab, right? Climbs down, and I'm just sitting there, I'm just sitting there, and I'm looking. I'm like, I don't know what the hell going on, right? So I see him on the phone. So mind you, he got like 2 phones. He been on the phone all day, right? Been on the phone all day, earpiece and all that. You know how truckers be, right? So he all day with the earpiece. So I'm thinking they got something to do with that, right? Because what he was talking about all day kind of seemed important. I don't know if he was trying to get like a house built or talking to some contractors or something, but it was some important, conversation he was having, right? So I'm thinking they got something to do with that. So he comes back, open the door. After you hang out, comes back, open the door, and he asked me to get out. So I'm like, "Man, what's going on?" So he's like, "Wait right there." So now he pull out his phone, he taking pictures. I'm like, I look back, right? The whole intersection then is on the ground. And what I mean, like the whole intersection, the stoplight, the pole is on the corner, and then the lights hang over the whole intersection from that one pole on the corner, right? That's on the ground. And I look at him like that was me? He like, "Yeah, you did that." I'm like, right? I'm like, I'm shaking my head, right? So I'm like, well, so what now? He like, I already called the office. We're just gonna take some pictures, and we're gonna get moving. I was like, okay, like, you supposed to call the police, or he like, they not here, so we just gonna keep moving, right? So I'm like, shit, man. So I go to get in the passenger seat. He like, "Nah, you keep driving." Right? Now I'm thinking, right, like he just trying to get back in there. You know what I'm saying? Get back at it, right? But as time went past, I'm thinking, now I think back, I'm like, in case we did get pulled over, he didn't want to be the one behind the wheel. You know what I'm saying? Like, in case they came and was like, "Hey, where y'all going, man? We got a situation back there y'all need to deal with," right? He didn't want to be the one behind the wheel. But at that time, I'm thinking he just telling me, "Man, get back in the saddle, man." You know what I mean? So we get back. I get back on the freeway. Focus on my shifting. Now I'm paying attention. Now when I'm turning, I'm paying attention to my turns. Now remember, during the schooling, it was a process. You go out this far, right? And when you get out this far into the intersection, you can make your right turn. You always gonna clear, right? So that's all I had in my head was go out a certain distance and turn. You gonna clear. I ain't paying no attention to my hood mirrors, to my little convection. I ain't even too much tripping off my mirrors when I'm turning, because I got this process down. I could turn the corner, right, without hitting nothing. But this like an extra 20 feet, right? You got to go out a little bit further, you know what I'm saying, to make that turn, man, without hitting nothing, right? So anyways, we get back to the branch, and you know, now I got a dock and all that type of stuff. So it takes me a little bit, because once again, I've been doing all my training in 28. I'm in the 48. It's take a little bit, you know, a little bit more focus for me, with this being a longer trailer and all. So I dock, I go back in there, man. I'm like, so what now? He like, well, we gonna go talk to the supervisor and see what they want to do. But he was like, man, I tell you this though, right? This gotta be the worst day ever for a truck driver in history, man. For this to be your first day and this how I go, gotta be the worst ever. You know? But on the bright side of things, right? He like, on the bright side of things, there's no way to go but up. Right? So I'm like, that shit didn't come from me at all. Right? So I'm nervous. We get up in there. The supervisor don't even much talk to me. He talking to him. Right? He talking to him. He talking to my trainer. And after they get done talking about, you know, the picture, send it to this, blah, blah, right? He says, he comes to me and says, all right, I'll see you tomorrow at 5. I'm like, yeah, I'll be here. Now, in the beginning, I had different start times, right? Well, come to find out, I was going to be having different start times. They trying to figure out where I'm going to fit and all this, right? So, mind you, that morning, I started at 3. So when he said come in at 5, I know it's over for me, right? So I'm like, all right, I'll be there. So I get home. I sit on the couch. Man, I couldn't help but laugh to myself, right? And I'm laughing, I'm kind of smiling. And the chick I'm dealing with at the time, she like, man, you must have had a good day. I was like, nah, man, my day was fucked up. She was like, huh? She was like, man, why you smiling? Like, I'm like, man, I'm probably gonna get fired, man, after that first day. And I go on to tell her what happened. Now she looking like this nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, god damn, boy. Like, you can't get shit right. You know what I mean? Like, so, right? So nonetheless, I go back in next morning. I still got a job. You know what I mean? He sent me out with somebody else. You know what I mean? And he kept me, and the supervisor kept me in the 48. During training, he kept me in the 48. Later on, he put me in like a 28, a 32, or a side loader. You know what I mean? Something more you feel I can handle by myself with the automatic. So now I only got to focus on turning. I ain't got to focus on shifting no more, right? So, you know, that's how that went. And then, you know, but moving forward from that, you know, when a trainer told me you could only go up from here, right? Later on, I became his boss. I don't know if that's what he meant when he said it, but that's how it went. You know what I mean? And it's all because I stuck in there. I didn't give up. I didn't even think about giving up. I thought they was going to give up on me, but I never thought about giving up on myself. You know what I'm saying? Kept it pushing, man. You know, and here I am. I ain't much had no bad days in this shit, man. So, you know, take it for what it is, man. Share, like, subscribe, comment. Y'all stay safe out there.